Hello and welcome to this special series of Ingram Micro's B2B Tech Talk podcast, Coffee with Women in Tech, with your host, Harpreet. This is a show where incredible women in technology share their stories and successes. Why should a woman consider a career in tech? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this series, where you'll learn why tech is just the place to be for women.
Hello, everyone, to yet another episode of Coffee with Women in Tech. In the past episodes, everyone I've spoken to has talked about mentorships and how mentoring has had a positive impact on their career. So today I have invited a mentor and a mentee to hear their story and journey together. So I have with me the mentor, Luana Holland, Distribution Business Manager, Aruba, Hewlett Packard Enterprise. Hi, Luana, how are you?
Hi there. I'm really good, thank you, and really happy to be on the podcast today. And
Uh,
I have my Women in Tech mug, so thank you very much for that. I look forward to using it.
you're welcome. Delighted to have you here. And I also have with me the mentee, Annie Shah, who is Marketing Manager, IoT and AI at Ingram Micro. Hi, Annie, how are you?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me today.
Nice to have you here too. What always interests me is how women land in tech. So before we dive into mentoring, Luana, do you want to talk us
Mm,
through your career journey in technology?
yes. And do you know what? It's funny that you use the word land because that's how I feel. I just sort of landed in tech. I was at school one of those people who just didn't know really what I wanted to do, and I had friends who knew, I want to be a teacher, or I want to be a doctor, and I was all a bit envious because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And one of the reasons that I went to university was just to sort of bide me some time, get some qualifications while I helped sort of make that decision. And I came out of university, and my degree was in business management, and I was focusing a lot in my final year around marketing. And as I came out, I had a few short-term marketing roles, and I was working with a recruitment consultant, and he was great. He was getting me these roles, and he happened to be on a sabbatical from HP, as it was then, HP, and he was just about to go back into the business, and he said to me one day, "Do you know what?" He said, "I've got a role that I think would be perfect for you in the team that I work in at HP." And so I said, "Great," went for an interview with two of the team managers, and got the job, and landed in a marketing role in HP. And the rest is history, as they say, because that was 20 years ago. Can you believe?
Wow. So have you been with HP since then?
Yes. So the great thing about HP is that it's such a big company that you can have a really diverse sort of set of roles during that time. So as I said, when I joined, I was in a marketing role, but I've had roles in category management, in the channel. I'm currently looking after distribution for the Aruba business, but I've also been over on the hybrid IT side. So I've had quite a sort of varied number of roles. And the other great thing is I've been able to go off twice on maternity leave and come back and sort of be welcomed back into the business as well. So it's just been, yeah, really a good place for me to be.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you've literally like grown your career in and you've had that experience of working in different areas of the business as well. Have you faced or did you face any challenges at all in your journey in your last like 20 years?
Oh, it's an interesting one. I mean, if I look back on my time, it's always been quite, with fondness, really. Um, and I feel like I've been quite lucky because as I've got to the stage where I've thought, do you know what, I really need to have a change now, I've been able to sort of speak to people around the business and sort of been able to move myself into different areas and new roles. And part of the reason I've been able to do that is because of my experience and my time within the company and all the people that you sort of build up within your network, if you're looking to do something different, or looking for a new role, it makes it a little bit easier, because people sort of know your capabilities, are able to sort of often help to guide you as to what might work best next.
Yeah, and that's really crucial as well, building those relationships. So when those opportunities do present themselves, you are kind of in a good place to pick and leverage those, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Very interesting. So Annie, what about you? How did you start your career in technology?
Yeah, absolutely. So, somewhat similar to Luana, many years ago, I actually studied law at university. So, I was very head set on having a career in law. Prior to that, I'd been doing work experience very much in that field.
Wow.
And so, my my degree was law and business. So, within university, I could pick up some more business based modules, in which I picked up an e commerce and digital marketing module. And that's when I kind of realized how much I really enjoyed marketing, the impact of digital, and kind of thought this might be a very interesting route for me to follow. So when I started in my corporate career, I started in e-commerce and digital marketing, but it was in the luxury fashion sector. So I've always been very obsessed with fashion, beauty, makeup. So for me, it was like a dream to be able to work in that sector, doing something that I really enjoyed. And what I realized after a couple of years was that it was actually technology that was influencing every other industry and vertical. So everything I was doing was being influenced by technology. So we had the rise of the apps, we had the rise of AI moving into some of the leading fashion brands in terms of purchasing behavior. And that's when I realized I kind of wanted to be part of the change. I didn't want to be a ripple effect of the change. And that's when I started researching how can I move into the tech sector. And I mean, I'll never forget the interview that I had with our marketing director, Maria Jackson, over 3 years ago. And as soon as I had that interview with Ingram and Maria, I knew I wanted to work for Ingram and in Maria's team. We were talking about guidance, and I think I just found her so inspiring. I knew that this would be the right fit for me. And so I've been at Ingram for 3 years. I've worked in roles in advanced solutions, cloud, and now IoT and AI, um, leading marketing strategies, forecasting, planning. So, yeah, it's been an interesting journey and I've very much enjoyed it.
Brilliant, and it's always fascinates me, the rich stories we hear about how women literally land here, because most of us land here accidentally. That's true, and
Yeah,
especially from, so you could have been a lawyer or you could have had a career in beauty, but to find yourself in tech, it's fascinating, the whole the journey you both have had. And also now you are managing AI, and that's another piece around, for women outside technology, that's another piece around almost like a myth busting about what technology industry is, to opportunities it presents. It's almost like, there's a mindset that technology is not for me, but so different from what the perception is outside of this industry.
absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I think moving from an industry as well that was so female dominated, you have the perception that I'm not sure if tech will be for me. I don't know if I'll find it interesting, or, is it totally very tech based? But actually, once you start, you realize how fascinating it is. There's so much to learn. It's completely dominating the world. So the more that you understand it now, the better position you're in. Um, but yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. It's about kind of dispelling those myths and really
Yes.
just getting stuck in, starting to read articles, and that's how you start to build up your knowledge on the area.
Yes, exactly. And I think as an industry, we need to bust those myths around this industry, and the possible mindset which could be a barrier to women considering a career here.
Absolutely.
So coming to mentoring, Annie, I'm just curious to know, how did you decide you needed a mentor? So was it like, I'm just curious to understand your thought process here. Okay, I need a mentor. So what value did you think a mentor could provide?
Absolutely. So I think, there's always so much that you can benefit from learning from someone else, be it someone in the same industry, be it someone in a different industry, someone in a completely different kind of role in the business. And I've always had the mindset that I've always wanted to learn. I've always wanted to adopt strategies or things that I can use to better myself and my career. And moving into tech, I wanted to learn how I could climb the ladder quickly, how I could better my professional skills, pick up new skills. And Luana and I started working together professionally because she was on the Aruba side of HPE and I was looking after the marketing. And so we developed a professional relationship. And the kind of first impression that I got from Luana will always stay with me because I was in absolute awe of her. And I just remember thinking, like, this is a lady that I would definitely aspire to be like. And I think sometimes you just have one of those moments and you think, Luana's doing something that hopefully I'd want to do, in my career. And there are so many professional aspects that I really admired in her. Um, and that's kind of when I took it to Maria that, it would really be amazing if Luana and I could set up a mentor-mentee relationship. And Maria was so supportive in setting that up for us. And it's been a year and a half, I'd say, Luana, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it has. Time
Amazing.
flies.
Time really flies.
Oh, that's brilliant. So, Luana, have you ever had a mentor in your career?
Um, actually, I've never really had someone who I would say, I've chosen this person as my mentor in an official capacity, but I've been lucky again in a few ways with HPE that I have always had really amazing managers that I sort of really respected and been able to have sort of conversations with. And because of my time that I've spent within HPE, I've also been really comfortable just approaching, other people within the business, when I've felt the need or when I've sort of wanted to, discuss or ask advice. So yeah, I've never had an official mentor, but I felt I've had a lot of people who I've been able to have conversations with that help me within the
And,
business.
and that's always a good approach. So if you feel, overcoming that hesitation of approaching someone senior, if you want to discuss something with them, it's always a good indirect way of being mentored just by watching someone sometimes or having a casual conversation, isn't it?
Hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would say as well that mentoring with Annie is really a two-way learning, because we've often spoken that there are a lot of things that Annie has taught me as well as the other way around.
Yes, because clearly a mentee benefits from the experience and knowledge of a senior mentor and of course their career development. But what do you think you have learned as a mentor?
Well, I would say I've definitely benefited because, firstly, I was so honoured to be asked to mentor Annie because, as Annie said, we've worked together, and I think when you're looking for something in a sort of in a mentor-mentee relationship, it's two ways, and I think you need to have a degree of respect for that person, which I do for Annie because I can see sort of her attitude towards work and how she wants to progress her career. So it's nice because you can sort of see almost a younger version, of yourself when you started out in the business. And I thought to myself, do you know what? What can I bring to a mentee? What can I bring to this person? And I thought, actually, I've got 20 years experience within IT, within HPE. So I must have learned things that I can then give back. And I think that's a really nice thing for me is that it's given me an opportunity to give back. And I feel that when we have our sort of our discussions and our meetings, that I'm able to sort of impart my own experience and see that I'm able to sort of help Annie in some way, um, which is, it just gives me a sort of a nice feeling that I've been able to do something for somebody else.
And I agree with you. It is a mutual relationship, like any other relationship, and it must be satisfying to kind of see someone else's career blossom and to know that you played such an important part in their journey, isn't it?
And I'm sure, hopefully, it's been working relationship because, as Annie said, it's been about a year and a half now. So
No, it's fantastic.
we must both be doing something right.
No,
Absolutely.
absolutely. It is fantastic. And although we started as a professional relationship, as your mentor-mentee relationship unfolds, you become you turn to more of a personal relationship. So, I know I can reach out to Luana for questions around my career and guidance and tap into her knowledge and experience, but also on a personal level. I would say that we're friends. And if I was going through a personal issue or I wanted some advice, I can reach out to Luana for that, and I know that she has my best interest at heart. So it's wonderful.
Yes, and it sounds good, really, when you feel there is that relationship of trust, and you can reach out to them for anything, and that's the best place for it to be, having a mentor and a friend in someone.
Definitely.
So, we have very few women in tech and so many more men. So, Luana, how do you think we can encourage more men to be mentors to women, to not only encourage more women within the industry, but also the ones who are here, encourage them to develop their career?
That's a good question. And actually, speaking from my experience within HPE, we do actually set up we have a mentor program within the company. But one of the areas that I've got involved in is we have a large number of both interns who come in every year to take a year out of their university degree to work within the company, and we have graduates as well who come in. And as part of that, the company actually sends out a sort of a request to others within the business to say, look, we're looking for some mentors. We've got a number of interns, we've got a number of grads. Would you like to become part of their journey? Which is really nice, because actually that's one of the areas I first got involved in mentoring, because I thought, yeah, actually, I'd really love to do that. Someone, new, fresh out of university, maybe, I can help by giving some guidance. And because it's all been set up by the company, it was just really easy to get involved. So I sort of put my hand up, and we're sort of paired with an intern, and yeah, it's a really nice thing that the company actually puts in place and enables you to get involved very easily.
Yes, and that makes it very seamless as well, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So I think if more companies thought about that from a mentorship point of view, and how much it benefits people coming into the business,
Yeah.
I think it's not a difficult thing for companies to set up and and get involved in.
Yeah, exactly. And having that formal mentorship program would be like a step in the right direction for
Absolutely.
any company. Agree. So, Annie, you've had male and female mentors, haven't you?
I have, yes. So it's very interesting, actually. So I've got Luana as my mentor, amazing mentor, and I also have another mentor, male mentor, called Matthew Dobson. And that was an introduction from Maria's network, our marketing director. And if I'm honest, I have a great relationship with both equally. And I honestly don't notice that much difference being a male or female mentor. I think I benefit from both. Matthew Dobson has, a separate sort of career in terms of Luana, and Luana's tapped into that marketing experience as well, which is some questions that I can ask around that as well. But I would say that male or female, a mentor is absolutely incredible, and the guidance that you can get in them steering you in the right direction, just asking them for their opinion is incredible. And like I said before, it doesn't even matter if they're not in the same industry, because a lot of industries overlap. So having that corporate experience is something you can tap into their knowledge.
Yes, and that's correct, because a good mentor, regardless of male or female or whatever industry, they would encourage you to stretch yourself and step out of your comfort zone, which is always beneficial. What advice would you give to someone looking for a mentor? right now? Because from what you've told me, like, you and Annie already had a working relationship. But what if somebody wanted to start and they had no idea? So they could be, somebody thinking, I want a career in tech, or I want to progress my career in tech, and I need a mentor. So where could they possibly start?
And something I've also seen on LinkedIn is that people just putting it on LinkedIn saying, I'm looking to offer mentorship if there's anybody that wants to, book in a virtual session, or vice versa. I'm looking for a mentor in this industry. If anyone is interested in providing that support, please reach out to me. It's just about being fearless in your approach. If you want something, you can go and get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a great idea, because I've always thought about it as in speaking to someone within my business, because I've sort of grown a network, and it's just such a huge company. But if you're not yet in tech, then yeah, LinkedIn would seem a really a good way to try and link in with other people in in businesses that you're interested in getting involved with.
Yes, those are really great ideas. Yeah, reaching out and expanding one's network generally helps as well. And of course, to find that right mentor with the right fit, of course, absolutely. So if you had one gold nugget to give to women listening to this podcast, why should they consider a career in technology? What would that be?
I think for me, it's just it's the future, isn't it? If we look at how technology has changed over, just in our own lifetimes. In fact, funny enough, I was talking with my daughter this week. She had a Spanish homework. It was translation homework, and one of the words within her list was overhead projector. And she said to me, "What's an overhead projector?" And I showed her a photo on Google, and I said, "This is what we used to use, when I was at school." You sort of wrote out, your acetates, you put them on here, and it sort of beamed them onto the wall.
I
and
remember that actually. We had to
and
give presentations on projector. Yeah.
Absolutely. So for us, it wasn't putting a PowerPoint presentation together that they do now. It's putting together a presentation on these acetates that you then took with you to your meeting. And and I said, and as well, we had blackboards, and the teacher would write our sums in chalk. You now have Maths Watch. They go online and do their maths homework online. They have their smart boards in the classroom. It's just a completely different world
It
to when
is.
I was at
Mm.
school. And the advancement in technology, just in that one small scenario, but how is that going to look in another 20 years time? It's just all sort of constantly evolving, and it's just, I think, an exciting place, because it's always going to be there. I think technology is going to be different, but it'll be but it's evolving, and it's just exciting to see what's going to happen next and to be a part of that journey.
Absolutely. It's such a mind-blowing industry, isn't it? And like you said, it's going to change because that's innovation is always happening. There'll always be new things to talk about, and that's exactly what makes it fun. Because this agility and this excitement about how it's changing and how fast it's changing is it's going to keep it an exciting place to be.
Absolutely.
What about you, Annie?
I think just to your point, Harpreet, it is such an exciting sector. It's only going to continue to grow. And I think the tech industry is a fantastic place for women. There are countless opportunities. And something that I would say is your career is what you make it. If you do want to achieve X, Y, Z in the tech industry, nothing can stop you. I would say, hard work, ensuring that your work and yourself have visibility in the organization are just key factors in helping you grow your career in this industry. And also make known, with your manager or your director, where you see yourself in the next 1, 3, 5 years. Because if you showcase that now and you showcase your hardworking attitude and your desire to achieve, when opportunities do arise, you'll be made known of them. So I would say, it's a fantastic industry for women. I think we need to attract far more women into the industry, and hopefully, initiatives like this are incredible ways to do so. But just know that, as a female, nothing is going to hold you back. So just strive to achieve what you want, and just don't hold yourself back. You can achieve anything.
I love that, because that means you can be proactive, you can be driven, and you can kind of pave your own path. There's nothing, and they will, even if there are blockers, and if you have the, you kind of have the willingness to overcome those barriers, you will do so.
Exactly. With that drive and ambition, watch this space.
Absolutely. So before we end the podcast, I ask my guests this question. If you could time travel, what advice would you give to your younger self? Luana, do you want to go first?
I had to think about this, and do you know what? One thing I would want to tell my younger self is just to be more confident and to believe in yourself more. I think it's a trait that a lot of women have, where they worry about, can I do this? Am I able to put myself forward for this? Maybe it's not for me. And I think maybe I'm generalizing, but I've seen it a lot within women, question ourselves more than perhaps men do. And I think I would tell, sort of my children, as well as looking at my younger self, just to believe in yourself more, be confident, and just go for it.
Yes, and that's something that's come up again and again as women, how we hold ourselves back, how we kind of second guess ourselves. It must be something deeply ingrained, that natural confidence about risk taking, about putting ourselves forward, and so on.
Yeah, and I think you gain more confidence as you see yourself actually achieving, and you
Yes.
think, oh, I've done this, I've achieved this, I've been given this job, I've achieved this promotion, and then you sort of look back and think, well, why was I even second guessing myself? Of course you can do that, because as Annie said, you work hard, you work hard so that you can achieve these things, and then yeah, it's just do it.
Absolutely. What about you, Annie? If you could time travel, what advice would you give to your younger self?
I think I would say to myself, don't be so focused on the output and the end goal, but remember to enjoy the journey, because the journey that you end up taking might be far more fun than the one that you had in mind. And I think it's very easy, and I don't know if it's a millennial mindset, but it's very easy to just focus on what is the output, what is the gain, how quickly can I get there, and you forget to enjoy all the steps that you're taking to get to that goal. And actually, that goal might not be what you want in the end. You might want something completely different. So I think it's important to have fun, enjoy the journey that you're on. You know, it's some of my favorite memories are with my colleagues, because we spend all of our time with our colleagues. We work, 9 to 5, so just have fun. And as long as you know that you're working hard and you're doing the best that you can, you will achieve what you want somewhere or another. So I think that would probably be my nugget of advice, and also the confidence aspect that you guys both touched on. I think in my early 20s, I definitely didn't have the confidence that I have now, and it does come with age. And I think the more that you see yourself pushing your boundaries and achieving what you'd aspire to, your confidence grows.
Yeah, and I love that, enjoying the journey as well, because sometimes we do get too hung up on the destination, and it's very easy to forget that it's equally important to enjoy your journey, because and you sometimes don't know where that leads you, and having that flexible approach is also useful to have in a career, because sometimes the outcome can be a lot more exciting than your imagination.
Exactly. Yeah.
Brilliant. Any other thoughts you want to add?
I think this has been absolutely amazing. So thank you so much, Harpreet, for the opportunity. It's been amazing to talk around the benefits of mentorship. I think for me, my only sort of closing statement would be, if you have someone in your network that you haven't yet reached out to, do so, because the benefits that you can gain personally, and like Luana touched on, the mentor can also benefit from the relationship. Just go for it. Just ask the question, what's the worst that can happen? They say no, ask somebody else. So I would just say, go and find yourself a mentor, because it's absolutely paved and given me so much. It's definitely guided my career, and through Luana's advice and Matthew's advice and Maria's advice as well, my director, it's definitely helped me achieve what I want to. So I would definitely say, just go and do it.
And I would agree with that too, Annie. And I'd also say from my side as well, that as a mentor, again, it has given me, given me back. It's a really lovely thing to be able to do. And if anybody who has been thinking about it or has not been thinking about it, but by listening to this, has decided, do you know what, I could do that too. Put your hands up. Speak to the organisation. And again, if there's not a mentor program where you work, then why not put something in place?
Absolutely. And it is such a great relationship to build, a mentor-mentee relationship. It can be a career changing, but it can also be life changing in so many ways. So absolutely, it's a relationship worth investing in. Thank you so much, both of you. It's been fantastic having you on this podcast and you sharing your story and journey that you both have taken together. It's really fantastic, and I'm sure there were some very useful nuggets of information and tips that those listening could pick up. So thanks again, both of you, and thanks to everyone listening. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to this special series, Coffee with Women in Tech, from B2B Tech Talk with Ingram Micro. This was hosted by Harpreet Narang. Tune in again to listen to another great story. To not miss an episode, subscribe today in your favorite podcast platform.